KBC Lunchtime News it is. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to the bulletin. My name is Bentroy Njue. My colleague Brian Muraru will handle the sign language interpretation bit on the 16th day of January 2024. And we begin our live coverage from Kenyatta National Hospital following the protest yesterday by patients in regards to the SHA. Actually, the CS, the Cabinet CS, Deborah Barasa, has held a press conference at the Kenyatta National Hospital, assuring and affirming that the systems are indeed working. Let's first of all cross over and listen in.
The incidents and the concerns as well as grievances by Kenyans regarding the system interruption, and we acknowledge, yes, there was a system interruption, which is common with any system, as we can see, not only in Kenya but globally. And so, having identified the system interruption, we've been able to first visit the labor ward as well as the maternity area. We have also seen the billing and discharge area in this facility. And we are happy to report that the system is up and running following great work. There was tireless and endless work among the technical team. I had instructed them to look at interventions to ensure that we don't have any kind of system interruption, have an alternative in case it do so happens. And we are happy to report to Kenyans that yes, we have an alternative system, and we have experienced and seen that there is no system interruption. The incidents occurred on the 14th and 15th and the backlog has been sorted. Patients have again are receiving seamless services, and I want to assure Kenyans that health services will continue in the National Referral Hospital and other facilities, and will ensure that the services are seamless. Equally, we want to really apologize on behalf of the ministry for the challenges that our patients faced. As we had said earlier, this government is a people-centric approach. We take patients' concerns seriously, and we are going to address them, robustly. And there will be team intervention even as we address them. So we have an open door policy. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to consult. We have been able to identify the patients that had come in to the ministry. We are engaging to see how we can improve again their services later on in future. And some of them we've been able to come back, and the services have been provided, and we have testimonials. And so we acknowledge the concern, and we'll be working, effortlessly.
That has been a feed from the Kenyatta National Hospital by Health CS Deborah Mulongo Barasa. They are affirming that the technical hitch that had been there in regards to SHA payment has been resolved, and patients can now access healthcare as it has been deemed. Away from that, at least 10 families have been left counting losses after a fierce fire gutted down their homes at Nkare in Kitengela, Kajiado County. The 9 p.m. Wednesday fire is said to have been caused by a candle before it quickly spread to other houses. The Kitengela fire engine, which arrived at the scene 30 minutes later, is said to have helped put out the fire before spreading further. The families are now appealing to well-wishers and the county government emergency department to aid them with bedding and foodstuffs.
Watu walitoroka, kila mtu ile nguo alikuwa amevaa akatoroka, akakimbia. Vitu zote zimechomeka kwa nyumba, mpaka mahindi, everything, kila kitu. Lakini after 30 minutes zimamoto ndio ilikuja ikatusaidia kusima moto, na moto ikapungua.
Tulikuwa tunavaa manguo tu kwa na kitu kingine. Vitu zote zimeharibika zote, hatuna hata chochote. Na mimi ni mwanabiashara. Nilikuwa nafanya kazi na hii lori tu pale. Nilikuwa nauza mayai, mzee wangu ni ule pale. Sisi hatuna tegemeo, hatuna kitu kingine, hatunanga kazi. Kazi ni hiyo tu, na tuko na watoto na wako shule.
And residents of Nyahururu town in Laikipia County have finally endorsed the construction of an electric fence along the Marmanet forest after a resident was killed by an elephant last Sunday. The construction of the 20-kilometer fence stalled mid-last year after a section of residents evicted surveyors claiming they would lose their farms to the forest. The Kenya Wildlife Service Assistant Director in charge of Mountain Conservation Area, Lucy Muita, says over 400 kilometers of fence stretching across 5 counties has been completed.
Kwa hivyo kuna ile kulima, tuko na wanyama, na sasa ningetaka sisi wote tujue ni binu gani tutakaa na wanyama. Ni binu gani Kenya Wildlife Service itaweza kusaidia wananchi, na wananchi tuweze kwenda pamoja na wanyama pamoja. Kwa sababu gani? Space imeisha, si ndio?
Yale yaliyopita zote tumesameheana. Kama sisi tuliwakwarusa na nyinyi mlitukwarusa, hiyo msamaha si kwa niaba ya community ya Silale Kauka na wale wengine. Sisi tumeomba msamaha kama kuna mahali tulikwarusa, na nyinyi pia tumewasamea.
Now, 2 high school students from Rusinga High in Nairobi are making a significant impact in raising awareness and supporting the fight against diabetes and hypertension in a section of Nairobi's informal settlements. Maureen Wambogo and Nicola Mwanzo say the initiative was inspired by their grandparents' struggles with chronic ailments. They launched the Insulin Path project to educate residents in informal settlements on prevention and treatment while providing financial aid and medical supplements to patients. They also conducted a screening session for hundreds of Kibra residents at Olympic Primary School, highlighting the power of youth-driven initiatives in addressing health challenges.
So hope to expand to support more patients in the future as we grow. Additionally, this year we also hope to raise more awareness as well as about diabetes, let people know the causes, the consequences, and we fully understand about diabetes because actually both our grandparents had diabetes, and that's what inspired us to start the project because we're well aware of the financial toll it takes on the family and the extended family in general.
This is the first time that we've handed over the medicines to our patients. So for the last year, we've just been fundraising, we've been getting the patients, talking to hospitals and networking, and this is the first time we've handed over the patients, so this has to be one of our largest achievements so far.
Parents in Kwale County have been urged to enroll their children in technical institutions where they will be equipped with skills to secure employment or pursue self-employment. Speaking at the opening of new classrooms at Msambweni Technical College, Msambweni Deputy Commissioner Josephat Mutisia said enrollment in school will deter young people from engaging in crime. The new facilities will boost the students' population, which has grown from 203 last year to 920 this year.
Tuko na shida ya vijana ambao ni juvenile gangs ambao wamejipanga kuleta usorotevu wa usalama Ukunda na pia hapa Msambweni. Tungependa kuwasisitiza na wazazi wao walete hao watoto katika TVC ili wakapate kufunzwa, wapate skill ya kujitafutia maisha na watusaidie kujenga uchumi wetu.
We have a big enrollment, especially in engineering courses. That is mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, ICT and automotive engineering, and building and civil engineering. We also have a substantial enrollment in hospitality, business and tourism.
Tunaposhirikiana katika kupata kozi hizi, tutaweza kupata ujuzi mbalimbali ambao kwamba utatusaidia katika maisha yetu.
In other news, Direct Line Assurance has reassured the public of its financial stability amid a shareholder dispute involving a media owner who claims the insurance is not legally registered. The Insurance Regulatory Authority refuted the claims, confirming the company's validity and liability for claims. Speaking after a meeting with agents, intermediaries, and a section of policyholders, Direct Line Acting Principal Officer Sami Kanyi said that despite challenges, Direct Line paid 2.88 billion in claims last year and remained the largest insurer of commercial public service vehicles, holding a 59.79% market share in early 2024. However, competition is rising, with Amaco significantly increasing its market share.
We are aware, and I believe you're also all aware, that there is an ongoing shareholder dispute currently before our courts. And as law-abiding citizens, we have faith in our judicial process, and the management of Direct Line will continue to respect and uphold the rule of law as a corporate citizen. Nonetheless, we'd like to assure our stakeholders that the operations of the company have continued uninterrupted despite the challenges that we witnessed in the year 2024.
Elsewhere, over 2,500 farmers in Baringo County have been enlisted in the Cereals Growers Association in a bid to ensure that farmers are trained and equipped with the necessary skills to grow trees, restore their landscapes, and also expand beyond agroforestry. During the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the association and the county government, Governor Benjamin Njue noted that a large section of Baringo land is degraded and the partnership will harness restoration of landscapes and also promote food security in the county.
They are into the support for agroforestry products, largely products such as mangoes, macadamia, avocado, and even coffee.
We are coming here so that we can be able to work with the county government to restore those areas which have been highly degraded. And so with agroforestry, we are primarily looking at farmers being able to restore their landscapes, but then in the process, the farmers also are able to get some income.
Very good.
And from Baringo to the great city of Mombasa, where Luo professionals residing in the county have joined hands to rescue vulnerable students from the community who were on the verge of dropping out of secondary, tertiary and university education due to lack of school fees. Led by their chairman, Professor Josiah Odala, the scholars mobilized funds to offer scholarships and bursaries to 44 vulnerable students from the Luo community living in the Mombasa city.
Been able to disburse over 800,000 Kenya shillings. I think that is very great. So the challenge is that now we have to mobilize the parents to make sure that the students who are benefited really study very hard, because at the end of the day we want them to join the universities where we are. It's good that some of them are actually students in my institution, Technical University of Mombasa, and we are hopeful that they'll be able to get first-class degrees.
And to this extent, I want to indicate that we have reached out to 44 needy cases, and they're mainly drawn from the Luo community in Mombasa. Of the 44, we have 25 males and 19 female. Of the 44, we have 28 in high school, and we have 16 across the tertiary colleges, all the way from Mombasa down to the lake.
Moving on, operations were briefly halted at the Juja weighbridge following a standoff between the Kiambu County Government waste collectors and officials from the Kenya National Highways Authority. This is after collectors called for the release of a garbage truck that had been detained at the toll station for over 3 months for alleged non-payment of parking fees. The authority, on its part, however, maintained that it was not going to release the truck until the devolved unit pays the outstanding fees that have amounted to 600,000 shillings. It took the intervention of police officers to calm the situation to allow resumption of operations.
There's no way you're going to go and fish out money from government. Sasa imekuwa na standstill, hii road bridge imekuwa headache. Actually is an impediment, wanatusumbua sana hizi gari za takataka. Tumelipa kodi inayostahili. Sasa sisi tumekuja hapa watu waachilie gari yetu na kazi yao izidi, sisi tuone kazi. Hatuwezi kaa na mazingira ambayo ni chafu. Wasipoachilia hakuna biashara itaendelea hapa wewe. Hatutoki ngo, hatutoki.
We are working for the same government. We will come up with a solution. Okay? And we are not supposed to be fighting because we are working for the same government.
And from the Juja standoff to the coastal city again, 287 self-help groups in Kilifi County have benefited from a grant of 983.7 million shillings from the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Socio-Economic Development KBC project. Moving on, Kilifi County Governor Gideon Mungaro said the grant will enable the 16,040 members of the beneficiaries group to undertake various projects which are expected to impact around 98,640,000 residents of Kilifi County. Mungaro further urged the beneficiaries to ensure transparency in the implementation of the projects, emphasizing that the success of these initiatives will play a key role in strengthening the county's economy.
Kupitia mradi huu, ufadhili wa masomo, miradi huu umepelekea jumla ya shilingi milioni 15,192,577 kama karo za shule kwa wanafunzi wanaosoma shule za sekondari, shahada, stashahada na mafunzo ya ufundi.
Ilikuwa singeweza mimi peke yangu ama kwa wazazi wangu, lakini kupitia ule mradi ndo imeniwezesha mpaka nimeweza kusoma.
Matatu operators in Migori County have raised concerns about the increased cost of a single business permit for Matatu Savings and Credit Cooperative Society, stating that the new rates are unaffordable. The Matatu operators who visited the county's Ushuru House to request a meeting with the county director of revenue stated that the increased taxation as outlined in the Migori County Finance Act 2024-2025 would further strain their operations. In response, the county director of revenue, Maurice Oindo, assured the Matatu operators of an engagement with the county government to address the concerns raised.
Kupitisha bill without public participation. We as the sector of Matatu, we were not involved in that participation. Up to now, they are bringing a notice. It is now an act because that thing was already passed in the county assembly.
Saa hizi wanaongeza ushuru kutoka kwa 31,000 to 51,000 na hapo bus park ya Sori ni mashimo tu hata haijatengenezwa.
We did public participation as finance department, and then the assembly also took the act to the public, and they went around the county, and then people gave their views. I don't understand how the Matatu owners did not get the information to present their views, but that's now water under the bridge. What we can now do is that we'll make sure that we engage them in the next Finance Act.
From Migori to Nyamira, where a group of youth calling itself Agenda 27 is calling on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate cases of alleged graft in the county. The group alleges that corruption is slowing service delivery in the region and risk grinding development to a halt. Speaking at the Integrity Center, they challenged those placed in leadership to work towards fulfilling their campaign promises to avert a public backlash.
There is nothing going on. There is a stadium which has been there since 2013. We don't have counted quotas. The governor, in fact, of all the counties we have, Nyamira is the only county which does not have count headquarters. The governor's residence. We want to know where is this man going. If you go to Nyamira, we have the worst roads. Our young people are not employed. They are not creating any employment. The governor should respond to our grievances. If he is not going to respond, we as comrades, we as youths of Nyamira, we as elites of Nyamira County, we are very ready to face him. We are very ready to sponsor even demonstrations in Nyamira County as long as we get our services. Our mothers are crying and we cannot stand the shame when we are learned, when we are elites.
And a section of local leaders in Rabai sub-county Kilifi has urged parents to take investment in their children's education seriously. Speaking during the issuance of bursary forms at Kaliangombe, the leaders emphasized the need to ensure every child has access to quality education. Rabai Member of Parliament Anthony Kenga Mupe pledged to work with other local leaders to support the less fortunate families in the area and ensure the children are in school.
Sitachukua simu yoyote ya kuambiwa kwamba mzazi amekamatwa kwa sababu hakupeleka mtoto shule. Ni heri mara 10 upeleke mtoto shule. Ikiwa kimeumana, mimi kama mtumishi wako, njoo nitajaribu kukusaidia. Lakini kwanza peleka mtoto shule.
Kama mheshimiwa hapa amekupatia 10,000, amekupatia 8,000, amekupatia 5,000, si amekusukuma? Si amekusukuma? Pale pengine palipobaki utashindwa.
In other news, clerics and human rights groups in Nakuru County are calling on political leaders to avoid divisive rhetoric and focus on maintaining peace in the country. The leaders expressed concern that recent political tensions are threatening national unity and peace. The clergy urged politicians to refrain from inflammatory exchanges that could divide communities. They also criticized the use of tribalism over the past year, urging leaders to promote harmony instead.
Sisi tunaomba muwe na ushirikiano mwema, mufanye kazi pamoja, ndio maendeleo iweze kupatikana.
Executive, judiciary, sekta zote za serikali sisikilizane ili kazi ifanyike vizuri.
Now, a 60-year-old man has been killed at Keragia sub-county in Kisii over an alleged land dispute. The man's mutilated body was found in his living room with some blood stains on the walls and door. Family members say they left the late Michael Ondieki Ogero at his homestead at 1 p.m. before receiving the tragic news of his demise. Police from Kitengela came and took the body to Ogemba Sub-County Hospital morgue as investigations begin.
Kuna aunti yangu ambaye walikuwa wanaishi na mzee, akanielezea ya kwamba kuna watu wamepanda kutoka kwa barabara na mapanga na walikuwa wana maunia. Na maunia ni kama walikuja kuharvest mahindi, ilikuwa kwa shamba. Sasa katika hii harakati kuna issues za mashamba zinakuanga. Katika hii harakati wakapichana na mzee, ni kama wakamlemea wakamuua.
Kakamega Governor Fernandez Barasa has defended county governments providing bursaries to students from underprivileged families. Responding to critics of the bursary programs, Barasa explained that the initiative was introduced to address the rising cases of school absenteeism and dropouts caused by inability to afford school fees.
Mambo ya bursary, sisi tumetoa forms. Watu wetu wachukue forms za bursary kwa sababu vijana wetu wengi hawana uwezo. Nataka kuambia control of budget, sisi kama governors, sisi ndio tuko pale chini. Tunaelewa yule ambaye hajiwezi. So huwezi sema ya kwamba governors hawastahili kupatiana bursary. I want to call upon control of budget. Please let governors do their social responsibility ya kusaidia wananchi wa pale chini.
Madam Chief, Assistant Chief.
The national government has created 2 sub-counties, 5 locations and 7 sub-locations in Kiambu County in a move aimed at bridging government services closer to the people. Speaking during the launch of a new administration unit in Nyanduma Village, Lari Sub-County, Deputy County Commissioner Samuel Karaoke noted that service delivery will be improved and security enhanced to foster overall development in the area.
Wale walikuwa wanaenda mbali kutafuta kama ni SEC, wanaenda mbali hata kutafuta chief ama assistant chief. Mgao huo ni kumaanisha kwamba wao wamekaribia mwananchi na mwananchi atapata huduma kwa karibu zaidi.
Kasi itakuwa rahisi kwa vile itafanya hii sile area kubwa, wananchi wawe karibu na hii maofisi ya chief.
Elsewhere, the government has started a country-wide soil testing. All right. We will be coming back with that report after this quick break. Not only that, we'll be having sports news, including the CHAN draw. I'll be telling you who will Kenya face when CHAN resumes in August of this year. Let's take a quick break.
يا حي لا يموت بدعي بصوت وسكون
Baraka nika aisaru hunna mihna. Baraka ni kambo kwamba iko na baraka kushinda zote, ni ile ambapo kwamba inakuwa yenye kutumia ama inakuwa ina matumizi ambapo kwamba ni madogo sana. Subhanallah, kuna baadhi ya watu ukimwambia au wanasema bwana mimi sina gharama bwana.
Mojawapo ya manufaa ya kuwa katika nikah ni kuepushwa na dhambi ya zinaa, ambayo dhambi hii huleta umaskini. Dhambi hii pia huleta ufukara na pia huweza kuleta ugonjwa ama magonjwa yasiyoweza kutibika na magonjwa ya aibu.
Mimi shida zangu zote hapa ndani ya hii nyumba, chanzo chake ni nani? Si ni wewe? Utachekwa. Yote hayo nayajua. Yaani nyanya sikujua unampenda Karembo kiasi hicho. Ingekuwa ni mimi ungenidekeza. Mwenda hapo. Haifai kuonekana mkizunguka ovyo ovyo hapa kisiwani mpaka tujue kesi isha vipi.
Karembo wangu. Karembo, wewe ni wangu. Na sina mpenzi mwingine usipokuwa wewe.
Tamu.
Welcome back. Welcome back. And in business, the government has started a countrywide soil testing exercise that will inform future subsidy fertilizer purchases. Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization lead researcher Peterson Njue says the soil sampling is part of an integrated fertilizer subsidy program that aims to ensure the government procures chemicals that are efficient in each ecological zone in the country to increase food production. Farmers have been encouraged to understand their soil profile in order to apply suitable chemicals and reduce incidences of soil acidity.
Sampling in Kenya and results in Kenya from the soil sampling, it has never been done for some while. For digital soil mapping, what has been done in Kenya, it has been done in a very small scale, whereby very few samples have been done. From that, we expect that the results, this work is planned that it will be undertaken by the entrepreneurs already employed by the government. These entrepreneurs, they are the ones who are going to do the soil sampling.
And so this exercise is very vital in terms of advising government, in terms of what needs to be done to the soils. We have the government policy in terms of fertilizer subsidies, and this project is going to be very vital in guiding the government.
The World Bank has disbursed 934 million shillings for the Kenya Marine, fisheries and socio-economic development project in Kilifi County. Kilifi Governor Gideon Mung'aro says the funding, which is part of a broader effort to modernize the fisheries sector, will also provide advanced fishing equipment to enhance sustainable practices and increase productivity.
Mradi wa KEMSET umetoa jumla ya shilingi milioni 983,687,719 kama ruzuku ya kufadhili na kusaidia jumla ya vikundi 287 vya jamii vinavyotekeleza miradi katika sekta ya uvuvi, mazingira, mifugo, kilimo, ustawi wa jamii na biashara ndogo ndogo na zakati.
Harambee Stars were last night at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, Nairobi, drawn into Group A of the Total Energies CAF Africa Nations Championship CHAN, where they will face two-time champions Morocco, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Angola, and Zambia. The tournament, which was to start on February the 1st, was postponed to August.
The CHAN draw, conducted last night in a glittering ceremony in Nairobi, also placed DRC, Congo, Angola and Zambia in Group A together with co-hosts Kenya, creating a highly competitive pool with several past champions and top teams. Tanzania, another host nation, finds itself in Group B, where it will play Madagascar, Mauritania, Burkina Faso and the Central African Republic. The third host nation, Uganda, is placed in Group C and will face Niger, Guinea and two other teams that are yet to qualify. Defending champions Senegal are the top seed in Group D, which also includes Congo, Sudan and Nigeria. Algeria, Comoros, Gambia, Malawi, Egypt, South Africa and Gabon will compete in a qualification campaign to fill the remaining two slots. The Total Energies CHAN, which has had 7 previous editions, will be held in East Africa for the first time since Rwanda hosted the tournament in 2016.
You know, hosting CHAN in East Africa, Uganda, Tanzania and Kenya is going to be a very big opportunity for our young people in terms of talent inspiration, talent nurturing and also talent exposure. So this is a very good moment for, you know, the football in East Africa, and more importantly, a very important day for Kenya and East Africa in terms of, you know, profiling our opportunities and potential even in other areas of investment, trade and tourism.
No, it's good because we'll have everyone will be available, even our players. They won't have their games or the league matches, so we'll have everyone on board.
Tutahakikisha kwamba kila mtu ambaye amekuwa katika shughuli ya kuandaa mchuano huu na kuweka maandalizi timamu ya kwamba hatutalegeza kamba, hatutaweza kupoteza muda mwingine.
Hii ilikuwa ni pamoja ni bidi moja. Kama mtu mmoja angekuwa hakutimiza masharti, ilikuwa tunatoka wote. Na ndio maana tumehangaika na Mwenyezi Mungu katusaidia, tumeweza kupata kwa pamoja. Baada ya kupata kwa pamoja, tutakapokuwa tumemaliza CHAN na AFCON, sasa hivi tunaweza tukaandaa Tanzania peke yake, Kenya, Uganda peke yake, kwa sababu tutakuwa na infrastructure ambazo ziko sawa.
We know how to prepare for them, and I believe that the national team, the Uganda Cranes, is one of the most supported national teams on the continent. Ugandans may not support club football, but for the national team. So with this 12th player in Kampala, and it's very, very difficult to beat Uganda in Kampala. We believe that will give us an edge. Our target is to get out of the groups, and if we get out of the groups, then anything happens.
Morocco and DR Congo have each won the tournament twice, along with Tunisia, Libya and defending champions Senegal.
Very well, and a quick one on the EPL results last night. Everton were beaten 1-0 by Aston Villa. Crystal Palace hammered Leicester City 2-1. Newcastle had a big victory. We're playing Wolves of 3-0. And the big one, the North London derby, Arsenal 2-1 against Tottenham, and bringing them to number 2 in the EPL. More on this in our subsequent bulletin. Many thanks indeed for joining us. My name is Bentroy, Njue, and Brian Muraru has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation bit. More news in our subsequent bulletin, but don't forget to check out our social media spaces, including our KBC digital app. Do have yourself a fantastic afternoon.
For this week's edition of Military Tales, we take it to the skies. We visit one Kenya Air Force colonel in Kirinyaga County who served for 30 years in various capacities.
Yes, how are you, Mr. Njue? Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Karibu Mugumoine Garden. Yeah, and particularly the home of Buteti.
Yeah. We have a sit down in his garden that he has planted a variety of trees and flowers.
My name's John Korum Buteti, and a retired officer after serving the armed forces for 30 years. I joined armed forces in 1985, and to be precise, in May 1985, and retired in 2014, August. I was born in 1962, or thereabout, in a place called Kangai in Kirinyaga. I started schooling there in Kangai. It's called Kangai Primary School. I did my CP in 1979. Then I proceeded to do my secondary school education, and I joined Machakos Technical School. I did electrical at the technician level, electrical engineering. I proceeded to do my A-levels in Jiris High School, where I did my A-levels in 1984, and I joined the armed forces in 1985. That is May, and I joined now as an Air Force cadet. I went to Lanet, and I started the training.
Fresh as a cadet, Buteti joined the Defense Training College and was later sent abroad to further his education and training.
I was posted in Laikipia Air Base, and after 1 year, I was taken to do my engineering officer's course in Kenya Defense Technical College. Then it was Kenya Armed Forces Technical College, where I did my engineering course for about 1 year and a half. That is from 1988 to early part of 89. I was seconded to go to UK and take further studies in engineering, and to be specific, I did ground radar course. That is ground engineering radar course, which again, it was mainly telecommunication. And that actually was my line of training in the armed forces. So I stayed there for 1 year. 1 year, I think, with 2 months, then came back in 1990.
When he came back, he was assigned the role of maintaining fighter jets.
February, thereabout. And again posted to Laikipia Air Base. That is where I started working as a young officer, now full lieutenant with the 2 pips. I was assigned the duties of maintenance of the jets, the ones that you hear. I think that they were F5s. And I was appointed as a flight lieutenant in charge of electrical and instruments.
Over the years, Mbuteti rose through the ranks in the Air Force and at some point worked closely with the late Chief of Defense Forces, the late General Francis Ogola, in Laikipia Air Base when the late General was a jet pilot.
I grew. I was promoted to a captain, became officer in charge, now from flight commander to officer in charge maintenance, the same line. During that time, I did some duties like an adjutant. I have fond memories of General Ogola. One, as a colleague. At some point, General Ogola was my neighbor. Like, I was in this house, and he was like there. And there was a lot of things we used to do. He was a great man. One, a family man. Two, as a Christian. And that is where we connected most. Because before I joined the church, he was the chairman, like Air Base. I came in. I think I came in after he left. I was the chairman. So we used to go for this military Christian fellowship. At some point we were rank mates, majors. We were lieutenant colonels at the same time. Then, of course, because of his performance merit, he was elevated to where he went. And he has never shown any difference, even at whatever level. As a colonel, as a general, he was the same. As a pilot, I was working as an engineer there. We used to support each other.
Kano was also active in sports and was instrumental in shaping athletics in the forces.
One, I found it as a relief. To me, I was very good at sports, athletics, running. I used to do 10,000, 5,000 and 10,000. Yeah, and at the base level.
Yes,
at the base level. And it is during that time I was appointed the OIC sports and specifically athletics. And that saw me joining the team, the Laikipia team in Nyahururu as a training officer and also as the officer in charge. And during that time, I actually became a manager. That is the time we used to have the likes of the current chairman,
Paul Telgat.
Paul Telgat.
Yes.
We had people like Robert Kibet. We had people like Sigei, William Sigei.
All those who are from the armed forces.
Yes. We had Ngugi, John
Yes,
Ngugi.
John Ngugi.
Yes. Indeed, Sigei was from my unit. At one point, I was the manager, team manager of the cross-country, this armed forces, East and Central Africa. And of course, I had a team of my own, and my team won. That is the Kenya team. I was promoted to a lieutenant colonel and appointed SO1 plans. SO1 means Staff Officer 1 plans in Air Force headquarters.
Colonel Mbuteti stresses the importance of peace, having served in 2 peace missions, with the most notable one being in East Timor.
Back in 2000, the year 2000. That was Indonesia. East Timor was part of Indonesia. They erupted a conflict, and there was a lot of killing. A lot of killing. The country was in tatters. There was nothing. 75% of the country was actually burned down, completely burned down. To maintain peace, that was the mission number 1. 2, to rehabilitate, because we had a team of Kenyan engineers. But Bwana Njue, there is something maybe before we continue, I would want to highlight here. I realized all worship places were left intact. That's another thing I maybe noticed. Despite of the chaos, no worship place was touched. And that's where most of the citizens actually took refuge. Our headquarters was actually occupying the former central bank. We found money, bags and bags of money. It was rendered useless overnight. Other, is it traumatizing or chilling moments when you would go out there? and you see how brothers have slaughtered each other. I still remember, there is a place I went there and met fresh bodies, and the way they were killing each other, slaughtering. Sometimes it becomes emotional, Bwana Njue, because you see, mama ndio huyu na mtoto yake ndio huyu wamekatakatwa. We wonder why. But I think it's all because of the bitterness, the emotions that are there. Because in South Sudan, there are some areas people go for others' children only. They will come and attack a home like this, and the only person they will take is abduct a kid. And for that matter, a boy. It is there. I mean, peace is everything. Peace is everything. And it can just be lost in a day. Like in East Timor, I think it was 2 weeks and the country was burned down. And it was devalued to nothing. People died, and that country, even up to date, has not recovered.
Soldiers live by the code of brotherhood, which he experienced firsthand during a swimming expedition.
As we were swimming, one of my colleagues actually got stuck in the middle of the ocean. And when I saw this, there's nothing else I can do but to jump into the ocean again. We held each other. I tried to rescue the gentleman, but nothing. We started sinking together and drowning together. And one of the guys who managed to come and rescue us, it was a Timoree, a very good Timoree who came swimming, shouting that we are drowning, and among other friends of mine who were there, that is colleagues. That's how we were rescued. So what I realized is that comradeship is very important.
After retirement, he decided to venture into counseling psychology, something he had started before retirement.
Let me say, on opportunity basis.
And how was the shift? 30 years in the military to now being a civilian. That was quite a paradigm shift.
I can't say I'm fully into it, because having stayed 30 years in uniform, and the only thing you know, yes sir, no sir, I mean yes sir to your boss, and somebody is saying yes sir, saluting. There is no like, hey, hapo tutaweza, hapo buda tutaweza.
Air Force engineer who has a checkered resume is a husband and a father, and has now turned to business and farming.
It was also a transition to get used to your spouse and get to know her better.
Yes.
Yeah, it was also a process. And even your children. I'm a father of 3 boys. And I realized if things has to be done, some of them have to go through
the mother.
the mother. And that's a fact of life. I remember when going to East Timor, I actually went out there. I left my wife expectant, and I came back when the kid was 5 months old. The kid was screaming. He couldn't take me on as a member of the family. Much as a Christian, I'm also a Kikuyu elder here, Kiama. And also when I joined them, they taught me a lot.
After the sit-down, we tour his farm, which he practices mixed farming. Without a doubt, he has maintained his farm with military precision.
This is one of the very important trees in our Kikuyu tradition. This is the moratina. Ikiwa mti inaitwa keratina. The fruits of the keratina, or this tree, it is the one that is used for brewing beer. Try it. It's very heavy.
So this one can make how many? As in, it depends. You know, it hasn't been processed yet. One of the quietest and deepest rivers in the country.
A small distance from his home, he also sells animal feeds, with some grains harvested from his farm.
These are the things that we use to make this
the supplements.
We wrap up the visit after sharing a meal with the colonel and his wife. 30 years as the guardian of our skies with unwavering commitment to excellence, Colonel Mbuteti's service epitomizes courage, honor, and integrity. For Military Tales, I'm Bentroy Njue.
Chapa wakaniumiza, hata grandsons wake ndo walikuwa anasema anti amefanya nini, msamee, usimchape.
Wacha huyu msichana atwangwe, wacha kumutwe, wacha kumutwe.
Unasema nilikuwa nimekuajiri kazi?
Ndio.
Ninaishi wapi?
Ninaishi Kilelesho.
Kweli?
Ndio.
Kwani kuna Kilelesho wangapi? Mimi simjui. 3 years.
Yes, 3 years.
Wacha hajui where she was living.
Najui barabara inaitwa.
Najui barabara inaitwa. Wewe.
Makalio ikaumia.
Na mkamfukuza usiku.
Ni reasonable down.
Iko hapa kama ex.
Leta hiyo makalio tuone.
Umemaliza maswali?
Umemaliza swali.
Kwa wapi tukichapa?
Nilikuwa kwa mliango nikakuja kusaidia, mkaniambia you will be in the mix. Mimi nikawacha.
Ati
nitakuwa kwa mix. Yaani watanichapa pia au.
Tuendelee?
Yes, obviously left me back.
Kuuliza nini?
Ameniuliza kama huyo msichana anampenda yeye mheshimiwa.
Let's go.
My name is Liwana Cherobon. I'm 9 years of age and I come from Kenya, and I'm a junior top model. Now in Nigeria, I was crowned to be the junior top model, the winner of the junior top model category.
As I was walking through the shelves, I found this book. It says, Fly Away Home.
Today I'm going to show you guys on how to make the simplest open-baked chicken at the comfort of your home. It has just the right amount of spices, and I'm sure you guys will love it.
I'm going to teach you how to make a flying ladybird.
You can sing like this. Atoti, sonoka, sonoka. Atoti, sonoka, sonoka.
Ati kumwamini. Yaani uamini mwanaume. Ache sasa.
Kama hii song inaiba kwa mwedwa wako Mariro. Mariro, yani that rap song.
Njue, is that a rap song?
What I mean is, punguza umama. Wacha wasichana tuongee.
You are the one from America. Yeah, I've been calling from Africa. And then they go to America. Oh, yo, yo.
How do we mentor this generation with the many challenges that they are going through? Is there hope?
Mentorship is simply, especially when you talk about youth mentorship, is matching young people with caring adults or mentors to provide support and guidance.
Okay.
The first foundation is to connect with our creator, who is our maker, with God.
I believe as we run our own individual races of life, you may not realize how many young people are running with you. Possibly you don't see them, but there are people watching.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports, drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out. Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani.
Sisi wakati tulikuwa tunapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.